Bad Pop here. I don't normally do this, but I like you guys. I'm gonna put my beer down and we're gonna do some charades. Does this look familiar?
Keep your hate speech off my campus! Keep your hate speech off my campus! I'm tired.
And if you answered Trigglypuff, link below, you get a gold star. Winning. I'm gonna put this out there because this is what most people are doing now in colleges. I'm giving you the trigger warning up front. There will be trigger warnings. People will get offended. Your feelings will be hurt. You probably will have to run to your safe space and blow some bubbles, you big pussies. Why don't you open up some potato chips and get under the blanket and pull in all of your stuffed animals, because it's gonna get lively up in here. Yeah. I don't know if you've been taking your kids to elementary school lately, but it's nothing like when we were kids. They got rid of dodgeball, the play structures, there's no contact sports. All the boys are diagnosed with ADHD and put on some kind of drug or Ritalin. I mean, it is absolutely insane. And from what I hear, they're trying to get rid of recess altogether. And that was pretty much the only thing that kept us sane. There's no winners, there's no losers, there's absolutely no competition and no bullies. And then we have the Common Core bullshit, which basically caters to the lowest denominator there. And that started in first grade, but they really ramp it up in middle school. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but this Common Core bullshit is not working. They're ramping up these tests and these pressures, and it's really crushing these students and their parents. And it's causing people to walk away from the system altogether. And then what happens? They go to prison. Good job, public education, keeping our kids dumb and the dropouts high, and keeping the prison stocked with fresh meat. It's not teaching them shit. Now, they are grooming our children to be smart enough to run the equipment, but dumb enough not to question authority. I'm sure you pay attention to the news, and you hear all the time about children being suspended for having a gun-like sandwich or some minor stupid infraction, and kids are being expelled from school permanently over something 20 years ago they would never even got in trouble for. I don't know about you, but remember Megatron? He changed into a gun, and kids took that to school. Now they'll get you kicked out of school forever. Seriously, what the f*** happened to these people? Edit that out. No, wait, don't edit that out. F*** them. How is it in the past 20 years, our backbone has literally slid out into the toilet and flushed down with a bunch of shit? We're raising a generation in a zoo where it's protected and fed and everything is controlled. And then when they get to 12th grade, we let them out in the real world and they're getting mauled by the Lions. Not the Detroit Lions, because they suck. So now we get to college, and now we're playing by big boy rules. And they have been completely not prepared for this environment. People go to college because they want to be there. They want to learn. They pay to be there. And because you can't handle people with different opinions who actually want to be there to learn, you have to run to your safe space where you can have your cookies and your bubbles and watch your videos of puppies and kittens. Wait a minute. Isn't that what went down at nap time in kindergarten? You're like 18 to 22 years old. Grow the f*** up.
These opinions, they don't agree with my bias. I'm triggered. I must run away to my safe space and play with Play-Doh.
You've all had a bunch of emotional strokes. Didn't we get away from segregation in the 60s? You know you've abandoned all hope and logic when you take your whole culture and regress it 50 years. And then you have the gall to call it progressivism. Wah! A lot of these universities are capitulating and creating these safe spaces for these sweet sugar cookies. Free speech is supposed to be offensive and shocking. That's why it's called free speech. If I want to sit up here and call you a goddamn Wamalo land whale, that's fine. And you should be able to make another video and put it out there and call me an a-hole. And I'm totally cool with that. I will defend that right for you to call me an a-hole to my final last breath. Because in all honesty, I'm an asshole. Trigger words rhymes without trigger words, cunt. But what the f*** is a trigger word? So I'm gonna throw a few out there that are my particular favorites. So you special snowflakes who are gravitationally challenged, you might want to grab your nitroglycerin pills because your heart's gonna skip a few beats. Cunt. We can't use this E word because people get offended. What? F*** that. A biatcha. Fag or faggot.
Fag means cigarette.
Well, someone tell this cigarette to shut up.
When I was coming up in the 70s, fag and faggot, it's like a greeting term. Like, hey, what's up, faggot? If you're on the internet, you've been called a fag or gay at least 100 times.
What's the big deal? Since when is it a crime to say porch monkey?
Oh, I don't know. Since forever?
Why?
Because porch monkey's a racial slur against black people.
No, it's not. Nigger is.
What I'm really trying to get at here, anything could be a trigger word, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's promoting a fear of free speech. So what does this mean for our society in the future? We're gonna keep kowtowing and bowing down to these people because they get offended. And they'll be in charge in 20 years. Hopefully I'll be dead.
Anyway!
Their entire movement depends on free speech so they can spread their bigotry. Tolerance. You get on YouTube and you do a search under social justice warriors, and you'll see these flippin' idiots protesting speakers, pulling fire alarms, blocking exits because they're afraid of a different idea than theirs.
You have the right to controversial opinions and speech.
And I really don't get it, because these people, they're not really fighting for anything. They're not fighting for free speech. They're not fighting for equality. They're fighting for a space where they could sit on their thumb and switch it every once in a while because they're a bunch of pussies.
You've never gone ass to mouth.
You never go ass to mouth.
I've never gone ass to mouth.
Not even once.
Not even ever.
You're both so repressed.
So the end result is they're infantilizing themselves, the institution, and everyone around them, including the minorities that they claim to love.
You're a white male!
Because these minorities, they're incapable of standing up for themselves, and it's up to us cis white males to step in and check our privilege and white knight them and help them out. No, it's not. That's f***ing stupid. Edit that out.
No, please, no more.
To the social justice warriors out there, everything that I've said today is hate speech. And why is that? Because I criticize pretty much all of their ideals as stupid. You disagree with rape culture? It's hate speech. Actually, if you look at the stats from the DOJ,
I'm not listening. Hate speech. Blah, 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 blah.
and if I don't check my so-called white privilege, that's hate speech too.
I'm not listening to your white cis male. Blah, 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 blah.
Any viewpoint that they find distressing or ridiculing, hate speech. So basically, if you're so misfortunate to be born in this country and be white and a male, you basically have to apologize to these people all the time, which I will never do. They're gonna run to their safe spaces and blow bubbles.
I'm sorry I'm white. I'm sorry I'm male.
I don't know about you, but my wake-up call was in kindergarten when I had to fight two dudes at once, and they beat my goddamn ass, and I fought all the time. Can you imagine getting that wake-up call when you're 24, when you get fired from your first job? Or better yet, get beat down in a parking lot because you ran your mouth and you never had a fist fight in your whole goddamn life? And that's why it's so important that we phone in the wake-up call to the social justice warriors now.
Who is this?
I wish I was a little kid again and I could go back to...
Wait, no, I don't. I grew up with old school rules, and we're gonna go through some of those right f***ing now. Edit that out. I'm glad I grew up when I did, because if I grew up now, they'd either put me on Ritalin or expel my goddamn ass. Because I was a hot-headed fighting f***er, man. That's just how it is. Old school rule number 1, face the bully. Yes, you might get your ass beat. You might have a little bit of pain, but you'll learn a valuable life lesson. Once you can do that, you've learned how to handle basic problems. Nowadays, when a kid acts up and he has too much energy, they put him on Ritalin because he has a so-called behavioral disorder, when in reality, just run his ass. When I was in 3rd grade, I was a raging asshole, and my teacher would run us a quarter mile one way and back twice, so when we got back into the classroom, you know what happened? Totally mellow. And this is why recess is so important. And you idiots out there who want to do away with it, f*** you. If you're bad at school because of laziness, the only real cure is beat his ass. Wait, we can't do that today because any form of discipline is quote-unquote child abuse. I'm not saying you should beat your kids with a wire hanger. All I'm saying is that happened to me a couple times.
No wire hangers, ever!
But guess what? Yeah, it hurt our feelings and we cried. But we're still here. You got a kid who's really bad in school and he's generally bad at it, get him a tutor. You got a kid who's too angry, it goes hand in hand with excessive fighting. You need to find a way to channel that energy productively. You put him in karate so he could focus that, learn some discipline, because in a few years, he'll straighten the hell right out. Or, there's school sports. You got a kid who's a sore loser, you don't take him out of the sports. You make him play more, because he'll work that shit out. Let's face it, competition is where boys become men. And this bullshit where everyone gets a trophy, counterproductive. On the flip side, you got a kid who's a bad winner, you might have to step it up on him so you can humble him a little bit.
You're about as useful as a poopy flavored lollipop.
Because being a bad winner, get you hated in the real world. Everyone here probably at some point in time had a supervisor who was a bad winner. And that individual just an arrogant, pompous prick and you want to punch him in the face. And listen, no one wants to raise a kid like that. And if you did, shame on you, get deactivated and take yourself out of the gene pool.
Yeah. If you could just go ahead and make sure you do that from now on, that would be great.
When you really boil it down, social justice warriors don't care about anything except censoring rational thought. And with that being said, I want to put out a special thanks to Triggly Puff. Thank you so much for your fatness. It's a red flag to the rest of this culture what exactly is going on, and you're the prime example. I and most of the people I know are not buying your bullshit anymore. And with that being said, in 30 years when you finally pay off your student loans, why don't you check out the links below and send us a couple of nickels to our Patreon and PayPal pages so we can keep doing this. Now, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because if you don't, I'll be triggered and I'll have to go eat cookies and blow bubbles. Feelings. Well, you have to imagine that I have like 300 pounds on me. Yeah, she literally, like, I watch it now, she's like, that one girl that was filming her, and then she goes out, you see her face, and she's like, and we're gonna dive face first into your bag of M&Ms, and we're gonna eat them all, but the brown ones. So you big, fat, fatty social justice warriors, you might wanna take it down to 8 so you don't have a valve prolapse in your heart. Hate speech builds character.